speaking of risks, a lot of people, it was funny, a lot of people were kind of just bringing up like, oh, I don't want to get gyno, I don't want to lose my hair, I don't want to get acne, which is kind of like the least of your concerns, I would imagine.
Yeah.
The list of effects that like side effects that you can get. So do you know of any side effects that people might not know about? Like just from people who use gear?
Yeah, it's tough, man, because I would say let's just keep it to men for now, because with
Yeah.
females, we could go down a whole nother laundry list of issues that come from that. But I think systemic inflammation, oxidative stress is something that goes overlooked. People often say that guys look older who take steroids. It's not a coincidence, in my opinion. I think it is kind of a perpetual heightened level of oxidative stress on the system that you then need to modulate your antioxidant intake accordingly, be way more dialed on your lifestyle. Like everything has to be at a higher level to attenuate the otherwise damaging state of perpetually supra androgen exposure. It's not something that's just risk-free. I think that's something that goes overlooked often because it does put you at a higher propensity to plaque buildup in your arteries, especially, even if on paper your lipid profile looks the same as another guy who's natural, you're probably more prone as a guy who's enhanced to plaque buildup, even though you might otherwise have in your blood floating around the same lipoprotein burden on paper. Like your level of LDL-C and ApoB might be more problematic despite it looking the same as, Joe Schmo who's natty. It all
Mhm.
depends. I think that's something that goes overlooked. I think blood pressure is a shockingly overlooked and easy to regulate thing that often leads to premature kidney deterioration, but also changes in the heart. Almost every time you see a bodybuilder die early, it's a cardiovascular related issue, and it's often from mismanaged lipids, the systemic inflammation on top of that, and then mismanaged or unaddressed entirely blood pressure, which can lead to not just functional changes in the heart, but like the actual shape and structure of it that leads to the dysfunction is pretty common. Like you'll see in autopsy reports, bodybuilders with hearts multiple times the size they should be, significantly impeded ejection fraction. And often it is just, not even buying a cuff at home that you can just check this stuff every day if you wanted to, as easily as stepping on the scale to check your body weight. Blood pressure should be treated the same, in my opinion, especially for enhanced guys, but even naturals. The number one cause of death, cardiovascular disease, even over cancer. And this is the naturals too. I think a lot of people think that just because they're natural and they, work out and eat what they think is good, that they don't have to worry about the shit when they watch enhanced versus natty videos. Like, oh, thank God I'm natty. I don't have to worry about that. Like, no, you do. You're
Okay.
also at risk for this stuff.
Shit.
Yeah. Blood pressure cuff, everyone should have at home, in my opinion.
A blood pressure, say again, a blood pressure what?
Blood pressure cuff, I think everyone should have at home, in my opinion.
Okay.
It's just like one of the easiest, lowest hanging fruit ways to avoid unnecessary cardiovascular disease progression. The lipids and the diet stuff that comes along with, cholesterol modulation, it's a bit more of nuanced territory, but when it comes to blood pressure, it's pretty binary. Like you're either in risk territory or you're not. And it's pretty easy to tell just as
Yeah.
simply as stepping on the scale. And it's like, oh, I'm 10 pounds higher than I want to be. Like your blood pressure should not be 130 over 90 all the time. Maybe you're
Yeah.
on too many stimulants all the time. Maybe you weigh too much. Maybe you're on too much gear. Get off the D-bol, bro. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.